Weird, cool, different, clunky, underachieving. Those would be the words I'd use to describe the Xiaomi Black Shark gaming phone. It's funny though that gaming isn't one of those words that come to my mind when using this strange device. I'm Alex from Hypno Tech, and here are my thoughts on the Xiaomi Black Shark after reviewing it for more than a month. Before I get into explaining my mindset about the word gaming, let's talk about physical appearances. The Black Shark is an eyesore in a strangely good way. The phone is ugly and there is no way to fluff around that, at least it is to me. There are multiple symmetrical cuts and patterns on the aluminium body that, while it helps with the gripping of the phone, just plain looks sloppy. It's like they committed halfway to making a gaming PC looking back body, but decided not to go all in on the crazy lines like the Asus Republic of Gamer phone. It's an ugly design, but I still think it's quite cool, especially when we live in a world full of candy bar, glass backed, notched up phones that all basically look the same. The front side, though, is more standard smartphone than the back. We have bezels from yesteryear squeezed between that 5.99-inch 1080p IPS panel. It's a pretty good 18 by 9 screen, but nothing I'd brag about in 2018. The bottom bezel houses a fingerprint scanner embedded home button, which also serves as capacitive navigation keys. Never been a big fan of capacitive keys, but they serve a purpose in Shark mode, which we'll talk about later. The fingerprint scanner is an annoyance, though, more than an asset. It misses more than basically all the modern phones I've reviewed this year. For this phone, I actually preferred unlocking with facial recognition. It was quick and more reliable, albeit not as secure as some of the other competitors on the market. There are dual f1.8 cameras on the back, one 12 megapixel and the other 20 megapixels. I was pleasantly surprised at the results of the shooter in optimal light. Images were sharp with very vivid colors. I like the tone and saturation they defaulted on with the Shark. In low light, it drops detail and it doesn't handle the source lighting well, but all in all, this is one aspect of the phone I did not expect to do much for me, and it exceeded my expectations. Now let's talk about the performance, and more specifically the gaming experience on the Black Shark. This is running the Snapdragon 845 with 6GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. It's smooth across the board, navigating Android as you'd expect with Qualcomm's top chip for the year. As far as playing games goes, I did an in-depth video testing out an assortment of games with a Shark controller, so I won't go too in detail here, but check out that video in the description below. The SparkNotes version is that the Black Shark hits mobile games with authority. I didn't come across any specific game with intensive graphics where the frame rate or performance took a dip. With that said, however, almost all Snapdragon 845 phones I reviewed this year have also been able to play those games basically just as well. So what makes this phone have a special claim as a gaming phone when other normal phones can play at about the same, if not exactly the same, performance? Well, there are a few implementations Xiaomi has included to enhance your gaming prowess. The first being that Shark mode we mentioned earlier. On the side of the phone there is a toggle similar to that on the OnePlus. Toggled on, the switch flips the phone into gaming mode, which heightens the Shark's computing capabilities by limiting certain things like RAM and background apps to squeeze every last performance boost into your game. Honestly, I'd be lying to you if I said I noticed much of an improvement with it on. To me, the only thing it really does is lock the capacitive keys from accidentally interfering during an intensive session. The quick settings modes you can get into by swiping on the home button really don't do much for me. The other gaming modification you can use is a separate attaching controller. You have to mount the controller onto the Black Shark with a provided bumper case, which brings me to the case. It really doesn't protect anything, but damn does it look seamless mounted onto the phone. Seriously, this is one of the best included cases any OEM has included in the box. It looks like it's not even there. Lets the phone really shine. Now, the controller really does enhance your gaming efficiency, but not to the point where I'd say it's a must-have. There were only certain scenarios this one-sided controller with two buttons and a stick would be beneficial. It really was designed for games like PUBG. Everything else, this feels like a scotch tape solution that barely does the job. The last few things that could be considered gaming influence would be the RGB lighted logo on the back. It lights up for notifications and during boot up. RGBs are a staple when it comes to gaming PCs, and it's cool they included it here. The logo blinks momentarily when you receive a notification, but it's way too short for it to be satisfying. It doesn't light up when you're gaming, obviously to save battery. Speaking of battery, on the spec sheet that 4000 mAh sounds impressive to power a gaming phone, but in practice, it was at best average. Keep in mind the Black Shark is running a custom launcher called MIUI, which is a heavy departure from stock Android. It's an even further departure from what Xiaomi usually runs with the MIUI. 3.5 to 4 hours of screen on time and about 10 hours a day is about what you should expect using this. And finally, the term that makes gaming PC builders wag their tails, liquid cooling system. Xiaomi has included at the time one of the first liquid cooling systems on a mobile phone. It's supposed to reduce heat by 8 degrees Celsius. I haven't noticed much heat output from the aluminium body when using the phone for long periods of time, so I can only assume that the Shark's cooling system is putting work in. So with all that said, why does the word gaming not cross my mind when talking about the Black Shark? Well, it's unique in a casual way, but not really that unique fundamentally. When I think about gaming phones, regardless of success, the things that pop into my mind are things like the Xperia Play and the N-Gage. They may not have been good phones, but they for sure felt like a gamer's device. There was a mystique around those devices as gamers. These new current crop of gaming phones from Razer, Honor, and Xiaomi feel like just outrageously tinkered smartphones with cherry-picked PC gaming features miniaturized into a mobile body. It doesn't push the gaming experience forward like what the Xperia Play did or even the N-Gage did during their times in mobile history. Anyway, that's how I feel about the Black Shark and its place in the current smartphone landscape. It is a solid performing flagship level phone, but that's really all it is to me. I'm Alex at Tech. Let me know what you guys think of this video. What did you guys think of the Black Shark? Would you buy something like this? Would you buy a gaming phone, period? And I'll see you guys next time.
If you like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, hit the bell button below so that you don't miss a single video in the future. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!